Today's Best Country Froggy 101, as promised, Jeff Foxworthy said he's going to call the show, and he pulls through because he's at the Sands Bethlehem Arena this Saturday. Details, froggy101.com. Without further ado, Jeff Foxworthy, what's going on?
Hey, man, how are you?
Pretty good. Now, I know there's a lot of pressure calling my show and talking to me, Crockett.
Let me take a couple of deep breaths.
Now, you've been a very busy guy. For those of you that don't follow Jeff Foxworthy's career as closely as you should, not only does he do the Redneck Blue Collar Comedy Tour, but you have written a handful of books. I think I have 10 listed. You have
28 books, man.
28 books. See, I counted 10. You're telling me there's 18 more on top of that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
28 books. 5 comedy albums. You've had your own radio show. You've been on television. What is left for you to do?
No, I just became an empty nester. It might be fun to kind of find out. You know what? I've been so lucky. I've gotten to do so many different things, whether it was books or calendars or TV shows or whatever. But if you ever put a gun in my head and said you can't do but one thing, it would be stand up. That's you know. I think I'm one of the weird comedians. I didn't get into it kind of as a springboard to TV or movies. I just got in it because I love stand-up and love standing up there and make people laugh. So it's, you know, as other things get busier, it's harder to find that time. I was doing 3 different TV shows this year, but that's why I'm looking forward to coming up there. I always enjoy that time on stage.
Now, you were born in Atlanta, Georgia, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, I served 8 years in L.A., but I've been back in Georgia for about 17 or 18 years now.
Okay, so in Georgia, I know pro wrestling is very big.
Yeah, we're one of the wrestling hubs, which gives me a little bit of edge in the redneck arena. Yeah.
So were you a fan growing up of pro wrestling?
Absolutely. Watched it every single Saturday.
So who was your favorite?
You know what? I mean, back when I started, you had like Andre the Giant, Chief Wahoo McDaniels, and then Dusty. Hard not to love Dusty Rhodes. I remember when Harley Race called Dusty's mother an egg-sucking dog on TV. And boy, that was a fight.
Now, see,
that was a fight.
I just had a feeling you were going to be into that Georgia Championship Wrestling, the Dusty Rhodes era, and I wanted to know if that somewhere brought the whole idea of maybe you wanted to do something in showbiz. Because growing up, I loved pro wrestling, and that's what kind of lured me into getting into radio and doing something different than just going to school.
Well, it was always hopeful for me because I realized, well, you don't have to be real educated and you don't have to be real literate to be on TV. You know, I mean, so people like Dusty and Ric Flair gave me hope that I could find something to do where I didn't have to pick up heavy stuff.
So you've got to do so much in your career. Have you ever been starstruck? I love when celebrities tell me who starstruck them.
I have. But one time I was working in Las Vegas, and Mickey Mantle was in town with Whitey Ford and came to a show. And the next day I'm walking down the hall, and a voice comes out of the stairwell and said, "I sure did like your show last night." And I said, "Oh, thank you." And I look, and it's Mickey Mantle. And I literally could not talk. I could not get a word to come out of my mouth when I met Mickey Mantle. And I was a little bit like that. I met Muhammad Ali. I was a little bit like that, and a little bit like that with Bono. I think I made an idiot of myself in front of Bono.
Well, what happened with Bono?
Well, my daughter wanted to meet him because she does all this work raising money for malaria nets and sending them to Africa. And so they were in town, and I took her to see the show. And one of the people with the show said, "Hey, come out in the hall a minute." And I walked out there, and he said, "Bono wants to meet your daughter. He's been following her stuff on the Internet." And she was cool as a cucumber sitting there talking to him. And I'm pretty sure there may have been a little puddle between my feet right there. I was like,
Did you ever have regrets? Because I know what it's like when someone's like, "Oh, hey, you know, I listened to your show," and you always give the "oh, thank you" before you realize who you're saying "oh, thank you" to. When you turned around and said like "oh, thank you," and then you realized it was Mickey Mantle, did you think, "God, why did I not turn around first and have something more clever to say"?
Yes, something. But at least I got the thank you out, because if I had seen him first, he would have just thought I was not okay. I mean, I literally could not talk. You know, and your brain's going, "Oh my God, it's Mickey Mantle, and just nothing came out.
So what's looking in the future? Are you gonna? I mean, you've done so much. Really, you could probably try to sing. Or maybe Ric Flair's getting a little old. You might be able to go give him a run for his money.
Maybe able to take Ric's place. Yeah, all I know is what I'm not going to do. Bill Engvall's on Dancing with the Stars this season. I can promise you I will not be doing that. Because when I dance, people pledge money to find a cure. It's really not pretty. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of nice to be at this point to kind of, you do stuff because you like to more than because you have to. I still do the redneck pay-to-day calendars every year, and every year I think there cannot be 365 more of these, and and there always is. I still enjoy doing the stand-up thing. I mean, I really enjoyed doing the American Baking Competition on CBS this summer. That was I never thought I would. I know nothing about baking, but I had fun doing it. So. Now it's kind of fun to look out there and go, all right, what have I not done? What would be fun to do? And when I'm not working, I have a farm in Georgia, and people go like, really? But I'm on a tractor. If I'm not working, I'm on the farm and on a tractor, and happy as a pig in the sunshine doing that.
So you're on the tractor, you're on the plane. Do you have an iPod, some sort of music listening device?
I have one. My daughter's bought me one, but they had to load it for me. I have no technical skills at all.
All right, what's on Jeff Foxworthy's iPod?
There's a ton of country on there. A lot. Like lately, I've been putting a lot of the old stuff, like Waylon and Willie, and
there's no complaints
Hank
there.
Williams Jr. Waylon. The first time I ever played the Grand Ole Opry, I was walking down the hall, and this arm came out and grabbed me by the neck, and said, I don't think that redneck stuff is funny. And I'm like, oh, Lord. And I had no idea who it was, and it was Waylon Jennings. He said, I've done half of that stuff. And I said, so have I. Don't choke me. I'm okay.
Seems like a lot of people are just reaching out and grabbing you out of nowhere.
I'm telling you. But life is good. I'm two decisions for making French fries for a living, so I'm just kind of amazed it's gone on this long.
Well, you are going to be in town, Sands Bethlehem Arena, this Saturday. Tickets on sale at Froggy 101. Jeff, we can't wait to come out and see you.
Yeah, do that, and looking forward to it. Like I said, it's a treat when I get to do stand-up and to get to come up here and do two shows at 7 and 9:30. We're really looking forward to it.
Thanks so much for joining the show. We'll see you this Saturday.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me. Have a good day.